the first fish I had a hold of was about 10 or 15 minutes after we got started, and I was throwing a spinnerbait, and you know, I love to fish a spinnerbait in the daytime especially, and at night when I'm night fishing. But we went around this block wall and kind of eased up in the back of a little old pocket there, and I throwed that spinnerbait back there in about a foot of water, and I wound that thing about 4 or 5 feet towards the boat, and it just, I mean, a dandy, just all over it. And I got him out there about 6 foot of the boat. He jumped water and throwed the bait.
Yeah.
And we could have won the tournament, big fish and everything, with that one fish.
Yeah.
And but we didn't give up hope. We just kept on fishing and caught 6 or 7 small fish, and that wouldn't keep, and just pitiful.
You know what they say about them it gets off, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know what they say. I know what I say.
They're educated.
Yeah, yeah, they educated.
They've
all
done
right.
that before.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. I mean, it was a dandy fish, and she knew just exactly what to do.
That's right.
Dang gummit, man, made me sick, you know, lose the first bite I had that morning and hit a big fish like that. And but you know, we just couldn't never get on anything else. I mean, just pitiful. I mean, but anyway, like I said, I'm tickled Mike's got a little bit of crappie film, and he can let us in on some things.
I talked to Gary there. He went up the same day down there, but he was up to Tennessee. And he didn't do no good either.
Didn't do no good either. Is that where you was at Saturday?
No, I went Sunday.
You went Sunday
up Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The water had a little color to it up in there.
Yeah.
Back in the creeks, it's pretty clean, but and I don't know what's going on. I mean, you fish from 40 foot to 2 foot and can't find nothing. Little bitties is all I could find.
Well,
seen several boats come back down the river down up there. It'd been way on up, and finally come back down the river there. And I don't know whether they done any good or not.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's got me thinking that I don't know how to fish. And I mean, it just, dang, unreal, you know. I throw the chatterbait and the crankbait and shucks, a jig. I don't know. I tried a little bit of everything and just couldn't get nothing that would keep.
Well, you got a few up and a few in the shallows and a few out deep. It's just because they don't know what to do. One day it's 30-something degrees of a morning, and then 70 degrees of an evening, you know, and it's just back and forth, and the water temperature is the biggest thing. It ain't changed that much.
Yeah.
You see minnows out there, schools of them deep, and then you see some in there shallow.
Right.
So,
I heard that. I hope Chandler's got those pictures of Harrison and him and his buddy fishing that tournament. Have you got them pictures? You believe so?
Yeah.
Well, when you get a chance and you're running through them there, put them up and we'll talk about it. And
there you go.
There we go. That's Harrison Hines, a distant cousin of ours, and he's going down to Tennessee Tech. He's on the fishing team, and I showed some pictures of him and his buddy over on Center Hill a few weeks back, and there they are in their tournament down at Nickajack, and got some nice fish.
Yeah.
Harrison, I took him fishing a couple of times, and when he was several years younger, and him and his dad, and just getting into the fishing thing of it, and he's really come on with it, and they're doing great. Him and his partner there, and doing good in his schoolwork, which is good. So we're proud to have them have their picture here on the show, and I get with them. There he is with the check and the trophy.
Yeah.
So they put some good money into their club fund.
Yeah.
But with what they had there, they done really well. Want to congratulate them.
What's he taking at school?
Well, if I was him, I'd be taking fishing.
Would you?
Yeah.
I didn't know
That'd
what
be
he's
the
like.
only class I'd have.
I didn't know whether he's going to be like his grandpa or something and take engineering or
Well,
drafting or
he
something
probably.
like that.
I haven't talked to him, and I've talked to him a couple of times on the phone and last month, and they were in Florida then, you know, and came back from Florida fishing the tournament down there, and we talked on the phone there for 10, 15 minutes, and but yeah, if I was him, I'd have a whole day of fishing. Yeah, but you know, Mike, that's I don't know what his major is, but he and his partner are doing really well in their team fishing down there out of Tennessee Tech down there. They're doing good.
That's great. That's great.
All righty. Like I said, good to have that picture. Last year they had him and his buddy was fishing a little old tournament over there on Fort Loudon, and they just had a humongous bag of fish back over there last year, and so it's carried right on. They haven't let up yet.
No, that's good. That's great.
So Harrison, just keep it up, buddy. Looking good. Good to have him on the show here. Pictures there, and young man doing good. All righty. One other thing right quick while it's laying here in front of me. Next Thursday night on the 28th, Joe Lee will be doing, I guess, the last seminar at Edgemore Outdoors there for this spring. I guess will be the last one, and for a while anyway, from what they're telling me. So he'll be over there Thursday night, 5:30 to 7, this coming week. So a week from tonight. So if you hadn't been by and listened to Joe, try to make a trip over there and listen in. So I'm going to try to make the seminar and then make it back over here by 8 o'clock. I believe I can.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's not that far, you know. That gives me roughly an hour to get here, and I think I can make that work.
Depending on the traffic.
Depending on the traffic, and Edgemore is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
But I think I can pull it off. I'm going to try to. I'm going to try my best to be over there and catch his last seminar and go from there. The other thing I'll mention right quick, for the New Providence Baptist Church Men's Ministry, they've got their fishing tournament May the 21st, Canal Ramp, Fort Loudon Telecove, safe flight till 3 p.m., entry fees $50 a boat. So if you don't have anything to do, that's supporting a good thing there, that the men's ministry over there, New Providence Church, and so it's a good cause.
He'll feed you breakfast.
Yeah, I think they'll even have breakfast. So it'd be a good thing to get into. Let's see. It says our youth will be preparing sausage biscuits in the morning and hamburgers and hot dogs in the afternoon, the day of the tournament, for a donation. All money raised will support their mission projects.
Yeah.
Can't beat a deal like that, Mike.
No, sure can't.
And so we're hoping the best for them. And even as bad as my luck is, I'm going to try to fish that. You know, I may have to use red worms or something like that, but because I sure haven't had no luck on anything else. But I'm going to try to make that tournament there one of my to-do list. Before we get into Mike's film, shucks, for these, I've been contemplating on getting a new engine for my boat, and buddy, they're just hard to find.
Ain't nobody got none.
these people made phone calls and everything else here, and they, you know, they're just not out there right now for some reason or other. Are they getting all the boat manufacturers are getting all the engines?
Yeah.
And what's that place out there?
Jayco?
Jayco.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 60 engines ordered and can't get one.
Yeah.
So
You look around the state of Tennessee, and there's probably 7 or 8 different boat manufacturers around here.
yeah,
You go down Florida where they got 100 of them, especially when they build them boats where they put 4 or 5 of them on there.
yeah.
You know,
They're just hard to come by right now.
swallow them up just as fast as they can put them out the door.
Yeah. Well, Mike had to fool around and get one last year, and oh Lordy, and I said, well, I may try to get me one, but so far it's a no-go.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to take real good care of the one I got, and
Yes, sir.
talked to Glenn about it. I said, I'm going to bring my boat down there in a few days, and I said, I want to put it on the computer and see if it's showing anything we need to do before I take it back to the lake.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's functioning like it's supposed to. It has been, but I want to make sure, because I may have to run it for a while.
Yeah, I need to have mine down there too. Get it checked out.
Yeah. So these things are not cheap, and by no means, and so I may have to run mine till July or August. You never know.
Well, they tell me that I got to have mine wide open throttle set on it and all that, which I don't ever run it, but I have throttle anyway, but or less. So
Yeah.
I need to have it checked out though, I guess.
Well, I do get on mine pretty heavy at times. Sometimes another, not a whole lot, but I'm going to take it down there and let them put that computer on it and see if it's got any glitches in it.
Yeah.
Take care of it before something happens to it, because it may be a while before I get one. But it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, like I said, the boat manufacturers are getting all the engines, and the dealers are having a hard time getting them.
They are.
So we'll just hope for the best and see what happens here in the next few months. That kind of thing. All righty. Let's take a sponsor break there, Chandler, and come back to us. Hey folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And these over here, getting a little bigger sizes, light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building's probably about 300 feet, one end to the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals they're going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could, they'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TVA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So we do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.
All right, David. I appreciate all those good words, and we'll get this on the air, and I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Chandler. We're back.
Yep.
Let's see, Mike. I took care of the two things I had wrote down there.
Tournament stuff, yeah.
Yeah, tournament stuff. Tim's Tires, folks, you know, like I said before, give them people a call down there if you want a set of tires or looking for some tires, price shop with them, whatever. I think you'll get the best price around right there with those folks down there, and you young people that's looking for a career in operating engineers, would be a good time to go over there and sit down with them at the hall and get signed up and get your career started. And I've spoken to you about rentals. Now, Glenn has a new, it was supposed to have been delivered today, another Express. And so he'd sent somebody down to pick it up, and they expected it to be in this afternoon down there. So if you're looking for a boat, you know, get with them, and that new Express should be in. He thought they'd show up sometime this afternoon with it. So it'll be on their webpage. Get on there and look around and see what all they got and check out this new boat. So it'll have it's got a motor on it, Mike. Yeah. So do check that Express boat out. I tell you what, they're pretty nice boats. I mean, they are. They right there top of the line, and they run good.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Yes sir.
They run good. They've got, I think, about 7 or 9 different hull designs that they use, and the bass boats have, or the fishing boats have a padded hull on them, just like a fiberglass.
Yeah.
So do check that out, and let's see who we got here. Ready, Chandler? All right. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve and Mike.
Yay, Mike Pennington. How are you, brother?
I'm good.
Good.
I brought something on the computer just now. Have y'all heard about the new state record paddlefish that come from Cherokee a 3 days ago?
I saw the picture of the fish. Yeah, I sure did. And I saw the picture. I didn't take one myself. I should have. And but go ahead and tell us about it.
Well, they're saying it weighed 120 pounds.
Gee whiz, I knew it was a big fish. They had it laying in the bottom of the boat. It was a whopper.
They got it listed as a paddlefish, or you talking about a shovel-bill cat?
Thank.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shovelbill. Well, they're calling it paddlefish.
Yeah.
I've always called it
yeah.
shovelbill or spoonbill.
Yeah. Different names, but the same fish.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the fish and the guy, he's got it on back of his truck, and it's his tail and his snout's hanging over the back of the tailgate, just a little bit each way.
Right. Man, well, like I said, the picture I seen, it was humongous. I mean, it had had the bed of the truck hanging over out the tailgate. So, well, what got me is the other week I kept trying to find TWRA where that guy caught that 6-pound, 8-ounce bluegill. Have you seen or heard about that?
I did see it. I mean, it looks like a whopper.
You ain't a kidding. I tell you what, man, that is a whopper. I'd like to find out where a whole gang of them's at. I'd take them if they was just 4-pounders.
I just didn't know if y'all knowed or anybody else listening, about this. That's a pretty good sized fish.
Yeah, that's a big fish coming out of Cherokee. It sure is, Mike. There's no doubt about it. And
well, I just want to say hi a minute and bring that up, and then I'll let y'all go and I'll watch the show.
Hey, Mike, I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the call.
All right, see you.
See you, buddy. Yeah, 125-pounder. That's a big one.
Well, I'd turn it back loose myself.
Yeah, he may have. I don't know.
I doubt you could eat him.
Mike, I know you're still listening. You may have to call in the regulations on that thing. Something about you can't keep them if they're caught before a certain date. Is that true?
I don't know, but I know I'd throw him back because he'd be so tough. He'd be like trying to beat shoe leather.
It may be, Mike. I don't know.
He's older than Methuselah.
But, we've always thought that them summer guns was in North Lake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in the summertime, it sure, I've never caught one up there, but it just seems like in the summertime, you can hear them out there on top of the water slapping their bill.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how true, if that's what that is or not, but there sure is some big fish that does that up there.
Native species of all the Tennessee River and all its contributaries, so, they ought to be there.
They ought to be there. I hope we never hit one with a boat.
I know they quit the commercial fishing back in the early 80s, I believe it was, when the commercial fishing was catching them shovel bills out there because they was wanting the eggs out of them.
Yeah.
And that's when they stopped all of it. So,
I think that's right. Well, I don't have my new book. I've got to get by and pick me one up to answer these questions. I got rid of the 2 or 3 of the years past, and I wished I still had one in my briefcase, but I don't. Mm-hmm. All right. It's good to hear from Mike there on that. All right. Say hello to Bill, Charlie Irwin, and family, and that's Chad and all those nephews and kids and what have you there, Charlie. Good to say hello to you all, and done got to talk to Mike Pennington for sure. Paul Harrison, say hello to him. The shovel bill catfish that's 100 and some pounders, a big one.
Chad works over there with us.
Yeah.
Well, he told me that they caught some fish up there about 12, 13 pounds or something at Douglas.
Yeah.
Over the weekend there, had that tournament, and he said they thought they really done good, and but they didn't have enough to win it. Said it took about 15 pounds to win it.
Well, shucks. Chad hadn't said anything to me, and I'm glad he talked to you about it. That sounds good. That wasn't a bad tournament there for sure. All righty. Ready to go to the film?
Can, yeah.
All right, Chandler, put Mike's crappie fishing on there, will you?
Okay, folks, I'm back down here on Watts Bar, up the Tennessee River today, trying this out a little bit up here. The water don't look near as clean up here as what it is down the river, so we don't really know what's going on up here. I just heard that they's catching a few up shallow, so we're going to start in here and work our way back up, and hopefully we can find a few of them crappie up here. So remember the sponsors, can't do it without them, and we'll see what we can find out up here. All right, I finally got got a crappie there. I've had several hits. Just didn't seem to want to take it. Finally, that one did. I don't think he's going to be big enough. We'll measure him, see, but I just don't think he's going to be big enough. Just quite measure up. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. About a 1/4 inch short. We'll put him back, see if we can get another one a little bigger. Folks, I got another. Oh, he's about the same thing. About the same thing. Anyway. There. 61-degree water and about 22 foot deep. We'll put him back. See if we can find something a little bigger. Need a little. 17, 18 foot. Get back after him. Yeah, another little one. There you go. Just can't seem to find no big ones. Get close, won't make it. Try another one. Okay, folks, I had another little bitty, and here's another one. I'm telling you. That other one got off right there at the boat. Heck, party, all kinds of them down there. Just can't seem to find a dang decent one. Well, stay after them. Well, there gotta be some big ones here somewhere. Let's see how big this one is. Ain't no bigger. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, folks. I'm afraid what I might have got tied into right here, that's for sure. Yeah, well, I got it. My goodness gracious. Big old drum, big old drum. Come here, you crazy thing. Get the needle nose a hold of that one. Anyway, wasn't sure. Then we put him back. Big rascal. All right, folks, we'll try it again. All right, folks, we got something here. I don't know. Big catfish. My goodness, what's he doing down there? Okay, folks. Yeah, I got it on. It's been a pretty rough day up here in the river. caught a few fish, but ain't got no dang keeper crappie. I don't know. I've tried shallow, I've tried deep. Kind of everywhere in between. Anyway, it's getting a little late. I'm gonna put it on the trailer. Hope to come back next week maybe. And go back down the river. Try it a while. So remember the sponsors. And we'll see you on the show. Let's go fishing.
Okay. All righty, Mike, we're back. Give us a little insight on what happened there.
Well, like I say, I never did catch a keeper. Caught several little ones there, and probably could have stayed in a couple of places there and caught more of them. But I kept hunting around trying to find some keepers, and it's 60-degree water running around that, and more or less in places, depending on where you're at, back in the creeks and stuff. It was a little bit cleaner water, but man, they just, I don't know, didn't seem like you could find a crappie at all.
Yeah.
And like I say, I throwed minnow and a floater and dabbed it around in a whole bunch of trees there that you'd figure you'd at least get a bite off of. And I had some minnows cutting too, but I know what that was. There's them bluegill in there.
Yeah.
Jumping on them. But I even tried the grubs foot deep, 2 foot deep, and 3 foot deep and stuff, and never got a strike on none of them either. Throwed them on some points and some stump beds and back of some hollers, and never got the first bite on them. So, where they was at and why they wasn't hitting, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I can't figure it out either, Mike. I really can't. Especially even the bass,
Yeah, sure was a nice day, though, but all I know that.
Yeah. These people catching them shallow, and you haven't had much luck out deep there, and but there's people catching them. I've had 2 or 3 tell me, that they. I talked to one boy there yesterday, and he went down to he was over on Loudon, there in Prater's Flats, and he said it didn't take him 3 hours. They had their limits.
Yeah, that's what I say.
And they were, and he's trolling them with low plugs.
Brian Everett and his daddy have been down there. I reckon they've been raking them in too.
Yeah. So.
I didn't do no trolling. Probably should have. I don't know.
Yeah. This guy, that's how he catches them. He takes some of those small crankbaits, and you just feed off enough line that thing's bumping the bottom. And he said they every time they'd make a pass on this one place there, they'd get three or four.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said it didn't take us 2 or 3 hours. We had our limit.
Yeah.
And going back towards the house. So, and that was in the Prater Flats area right there, where it is at.
Yeah.
So, they're biting. You just got to find the right thing.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but I hate you didn't do any better than you did. It's them son of a guns. I know there's a lot of crappie up Tennessee. I've caught them up there before.
Even the ones I caught were 16, 17 foot. I didn't get a thing out any deeper.
Yeah.
Didn't get none any shallower.
Mm.
They just seemed like that was the depth that they was at up there. The little ones anyway.
Yeah.
Wasn't no big deal to catch one, drop right back, and catch another right there in that same spot.
Yeah.
There was plenty of them there. There just wasn't no size to them.
Mm. Well, all I know is Mike, you'll just have to keep trying till you figure them out. For sure. Heck, I can't. I wouldn't mind making a trip to North, whether day or dark. May's when we usually start fishing for them anyway, and I meant to go up there and wanted to go off a trip while the moon was up bright and see if we could catch a walleye or two, and didn't get to do that.
Well, there's something else that they was talking about there that I heard them mention, that if you want to get up early in the morning before daylight, that some kind of meteor shower that only comes through ever so often, that there was going to be a lot of them coming through, and said there'd probably be at least 100 or more hour shooting stars going across. If you want to get up in time to see it all, that was going to be the heaviest spot, would be the hour before daylight. So they'll probably be going all night.
Is that in the morning when that's supposed to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I need to be on the lookout for that, because I'm up before daylight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any clouds either. May not be. You can see them good.
Well, you think that'll turn the fish on? I definitely want to watch it if that'll happen.
But the dang moon's going down on the backside too.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a little bit of moonlight there. Kind of dulls the dang meteor showers down somewhat, but it's another one of them things that just happens, I guess, like Halley's Comet. You might see it once in a lifetime.
Right. Well, like I say, I may catch some of that in the morning, maybe.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be that big a deal. I mean, I'm on the road that headed out that early anyway. So that may start the fish biting, you reckon?
It might do it.
Yeah.
It might do it. It might have been what they're waiting on.
Yeah, I hope it is. For my part of it, I'll tell you that right now. It's been a rough spring, for sure. And
I was telling you, though, that one guy that was down there across from me over there on that stump bed and rocks and stuff, I seen him fish over there for at least 30 minutes to an hour, somewhere around there, and never seen him catch the first one. He was throwing a lot of different things out there at him before he moved off. So water couldn't have been no more where he was sitting at than 6-8 foot up on top of that flat there.
Son of a gun. Now, they should have been there.
You'd think they would have been.
Yeah, they ought to have been. That's a good creek right there, too.
Yeah.
I mean, some good crappie fishing on that left-hand side going through there, in towards the golf course. And no doubt about it. I've caught crappie in there before. You know, Wayne Crabtree was down there one day, buddy. We just, they've gone. One of it, we just caught all we wanted to catch.
Yeah.
You know, so that was there's some good crappie beds in that little old creek right there for sure. All righty, let's see, Mike. Jeff Parrott. I was hoping he'd call in and let us know what he'd been doing up on North, if he'd been out this past week. So, Jeff, if you're watching, give us a call over here, buddy.
If you remember, Duncan was telling us about going to Del Holler.
Yeah, he did.
They're supposed to have been catching crappie out there. And
yeah.
He didn't do no good.
He didn't do no good. Well, you know, he was up there around Eastport, and the water was muddy and trashy. And, yeah, I'd have probably had to go on down the lake a little ways before it kind of cleared up some. But, yeah, Troy was there, and he didn't do any good, that's for sure, from what he said.
That's what Jeff was, Parrott was talking about when he was down there the other week, that them guys up there was catching a lot of crappie.
Right. Yeah, that's before the last big rain hit.
Before that last big rain hit, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes here in the next little bit. I talked to Max the other day, and he hadn't been out there just because of the rain and you know, having the lake all trashy and this kind of stuff. So I'd say if it's not full, it's real close to being full. And without a doubt. Let's see. I wished I tried to get that bluegill picture up, if you know, for everybody, just get a look at that monstrous bluegill, and I couldn't get it to pull up for me. So if you can get online there and get that picture up of that bluegill, it'd be well worth a look. I can tell you that right now.
Did you hear who won that Elite Series down in Chickamauga there the other week? Missouri win that or something?
I don't remember, Mike. I didn't find out who won the thing,
Last little bit I seen when I flipped through there was the guy from Japan, I think, was fishing down there in that creek where they got the big launch ramp down toward the dam there.
Chester Frost.
Chester Frost, yeah. He was fishing out there on them flat where it rolled off into the creek, throwing swim baits and stuff and everything. But he said he was leading it last I seen of it there. I didn't know. Who ended up winning it?
I don't know. I really don't. But the boy that caught the fish over on Loudon, his brother went down to Chickamauga, and he was telling me he was doing this. He was trolling with small plugs too, but basically he wound up throwing a grub, Bobby Garland, around boat docks and stuff, catching his fish, catching his crappie, and. So him and his buddy had their limit from down in Chickamauga, and David was up on the Prater's Flats. So him and his son was out there, and like I said, heck, he said in 3 hours we had our limit, and we headed back to the house. So that sounded pretty good. But they were trolling plugs, like I said, those small baits. Just trolling them behind his boat there, and he said the fish really, where they were trolling at, wasn't 8-10 foot deep. But he said every time we'd come off that little old ledge there, said we'd get 2 or 3, and then we'd turn around, make another wide swing, come back, and get 2 or 3, 4 more.
Yeah.
So you know, different things works better in different places for them crappie, for sure. Let's see. Chandler, take us to a sponsor break, will you? All right. Hey, folks. We're over here at Edgemore Outdoors and got Vance back here. They've got a new selection of, what is this called now, Vance?
This is all Queen tackle.
Queen tackle, okay.
It's all tungsten. They got tungsten weights, flipping weights. They got drop shot weights. All the jigs are all tungsten heads. There's flipping jigs, football jigs. There's swim jigs down here too. That's all of it's tungsten. There's shaky heads right here.
Okay,
That's
all tungsten stuff. Well, Vance got my attention with one thing. You can take any jig. Vance, get some of those bills. The chatterbait bills?
These aren't tungsten, but you can take this little chatterbait here and you can make a jig or a
any
swim
jig,
bait, any kind of head.
Throw and put a shaky head on it.
Yep.
Son of a gun. I was just wondering how long that was going to take.
They've got different sizes in the blades there. There's silver, gold, and black.
Silver, gold, and black, different sizes in the blades. And like you said, you can take a white jig that you're flipping and put that dang bill on it, and you got you a chatterbait.
That's right.
Well, I wish me and you had thought of that. Folks, listen, do get by here, Edgemore Outdoors. Just swing around here, look at, gosh, I mean, man, the racks are hanging full of stuff, line, oil, just everything in the world here at Edgemore Outdoors. Jim and his crew would be more than glad to help you find what you need back here on the thing. I mean, it's just, I just hadn't had a chance to get over here. I've been wanting to come by and make another a new film, advertisement for Edgemore Outdoors, and we just thank you for their support here over the years, keeping the show going, and it's just row after row of tackle, baits, plastics, crappie stuff, catfish stuff. They got live bait, reels, rods. I mean, it's just, if you're looking for it, more than likely they have it over here. So do come by, stop in here and visit with Edgemore Outdoors, and I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied and they can help you find what you need. All right, we're back. What about it, Ed Galt? Are you listening? Give us a call over here and fill us in on what you've been doing up north.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, I hadn't heard from Ed in a while. That's
Check
fact.
to see if his fishing line had broke or something, or
Yeah.
hole in his boat or something.
Something, yeah. We hadn't heard from Ed in 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, I'm sure he's been fishing a time or two. At least you would think he had been.
Yeah.
But,
Hope he can fill us in on what's going on, maybe.
yeah. I hope so. Anyway, without a doubt. Maybe he can call in here in a minute and let us know something, reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian Everett, Mr. Everett, I tell you what, the way they was catching them crappie, I'd say more than likely they was throwing grubs around.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that a bit, Mike. Wesley and I, there Saturday, we saw the guys. We were up in the Emory section there for a little bit, and there was several people casting. I could tell they was throwing grubs and floaters, and we saw them catching a few fish. But really didn't see anybody keep more than 1 or 2. They was throwing a lot back.
Yeah.
The smaller ones, but they were throwing a little old floater and a Bobby Garland or twister tail grub or something, fishing a couple of foot deep.
Yeah. All. You got to talk to Mr. Everett there when he was over to the recycling center there, and when they go by Dad's there, and pick up all his stuff and take it over there once a week or something, and talk to him and ask him, he went? No, he ain't went. And it seemed like for a year or two there, you wasn't hardly going at all. And I told him he just need to go ahead and throw his rod and reels away if he wasn't going to use them. But evidently he's got them out of storage and started using them again.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. That sounds about right anyway, for sure.
That's good to hear him Ryan's out catching some fish there.
Right.
I was talking, he was asking me if I was catching them. I said, yeah, I was catching them 30 foot deep on minnows. He says, I don't like to use them on slimy minnows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, one other thing, Ladd's Landing is open.
Open, ready to go, ain't it?
Yeah, ready to go. Which we'd put in Saturday there at City Park, but there was 2 or 3 boats, 4 or 5 in the parking lot there at Ladd's Landing when we come back to the house, and so yeah, it's ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah, I started to turn in there and just go down there and look it over, and we come on, but it's open.
Open. That's good. Open for business.
Open for business. Yeah.
That's what we like.
So.
And the water's about full, so
Yeah.
make it pretty good about everywhere.
Oh yeah.
What Jeff told me, he run into that guy that done that Ladd's Landing thing at Little Emery there, and said he made a note of that ramp there. I believe it was Jeff or Gary one. It might have been Gary. I think that's who it was I was talking to. Was telling me about it, that they run into that guy down there. And was telling him how flat that ramp was and stuff, that you had to wade water up to your past your knees to get your boat on and off the trailer, and almost put water in your vehicle and everything else.
Yeah.
And he said he'd put that on their list, that he was checking all them boat ramps out and stuff to see what they needed to do to them to fix it. So maybe they'll fix that one up there at Sugar Tree, they call it.
Yeah.
In Little Emery.
Well, it sure would be nice. Which, you know, when the lake's full, you do have to back out there and get your tires in the water to get your boat off the trailer. And then when you, in the winter time, you put in there, you have to drop your trailer off the end of the ramp.
Yeah.
To get your boat off.
Yeah, that's
no
right.
doubt about it. I mean, I don't know what they do right there, but any help at all would be appreciated.
Yeah, I think he said that guy told him he had 2 track holes there that they was working with and stuff down there at that, and they'd have to get one up there. Of course, I know they'd have to wait the winter time and then dig the slough out there in front of it and stuff, and then try to take part of the ramp out and then build up on the upper end of the ramp to make it steep enough because it ain't got the right pitch on it. It's too flat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true too. But it serves a good purpose, like I said.
Yeah.
It's handy for us. Heck,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
10 miles from the house. You know.
Out of all the ramps I went to on that lake, Blue Springs the best one of all of them as far as the right pitch on it, to where when you back up and your boat's off and you load back up, you don't have to wade the water. Your back bumper's still a couple of feet out of the water.
Yeah.
Where you can walk around to it and you don't have to wade no water. And it just, everything works good down there at that ramp, winter or summer, you know.
Right.
It's got the right stuff to it.
Well, it's a good ramp in the wintertime, and it basically does all right in the summer. I really think it's just a little bit steep, but
Blue Springs?
no, you said, I thought you was talking about Caney Creek.
No, Caney Creek's too steep.
Steep, yeah. But Blue Springs is a good ramp.
Oh, yeah, it's the best one on the lake as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got, like you said, it's got the right pitch and everything pretty good. If you back wheels are at the edge of the water, your boat's off the trailer.
That's right.
Yeah. So, which is perfect.
Well, you know, some of them ramps, you back up there to load up, and back a little too deep in the water and touch your wheels and bring your trucks to the right or something there a little bit, and pull back up to where your trailer's sitting just right, and that gets that bumper out of the way where when you load your boat up, you step off where you got dry pavement or concrete to step down on. It ain't in the way.
Yeah.
You don't have to climb over the bed or anything like that, you know.
Right, right.
That helps a lot, especially if you're by yourself, you know.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, we're getting close to leaving time here. Do remember to be safe on the water. Even in the water warming up, it's still pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. When you reach down in the water at 57, 60 degrees, it's still a little cool. So you know, keep your life jackets handy, and worst case, you wind up in the water for some reason or another, you got some help. You know, your life jackets on you, and you know, it's a lot better than laying in the sea of the boat.
Yeah.
But that is the next best thing, having it laid out there where you could walk down the side of the boat and get your life jacket and get you around to the back of the motor. I tell you, it's hard to get in a bass boat or any kind of boat when you're up on the front of it.
Oh, ain't no doubt about it.
You just so the best thing to do is Wesley fell in on me down there 4 or 5 years ago, and had his coveralls on and didn't have his life jacket on, and he was just, you know. I said, yeah, come. I said, just walk yourself around here at the back of the boat, and we got his foot up on the cavitation plate of the motor there, and I trimmed the motor up a little bit, and he just crawled right over in the boat, you know, and went to jerking his clothes off and drying him off. And so, yeah, it don't take but a little bit to wind up in the water.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Might lose your cell phone and everything.
Yeah, and 'cause I fell off the back of Rick Whitson's boat down there one day. We was fishing a tournament there, and I don't know, I had my back to, you know, we was fishing the bank there, and the next thing I knew, man, I was in the water. Cell phone wet, and had it in my pocket, and it was ruined. And I kept telling him, I said, just grab my rod. And he got the rod, and I swam a lick or two and got over the edge of the boat and got back in. I mean, it was pretty warm that day, so I just kept right on fishing.
Well, yeah.
Billfold soaking wet, cell phone burnt. That's part of it. But anyway, listen, we're going to get out of here. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Okay. Hey, folks, I'm here at Reynolds Racing and Marine, 620 Ray Street here in Kingston. Got Mr. Glenn Reynolds here with us. Glenn, tell us about this beautiful bullet boat sitting here.
Okay, this is the latest deal. It's called SST. It's 21 foot long. Has a lot of key features inside. It's got three coolers, so you keep your beverages plenty cool. Got a little wider front end up front. And it's got the recessed foot pedal for the new Spotlight trolling motors that I'm going to try to sell Steve one.
Yes, sir.
And it's a pretty silver and red.
Boy, it's beautiful. It really is.
Got the new 250R.
250R on that thing, folks. Man, this thing looks sharp.
That's just one boat. Of course, we got it in the background here.
Yeah.
We've got several side-by-sides.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And then...
there's the big 5-seater. That's a 5-seater. Man. Dadgone it,
We've
Glenn.
got a lot of side-by-sides.
Yes, sir.
And then we've got, of course, this is
Allison?
this is Allison Color Pro Series.
Yeah.
It's called a Pro Elite.
Pro Elite, okay.
And it's got, I guess here is some of the, you can get this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It's got a TV screen in the front. Glenn.
Yeah. And then it raises it up because it's called an E-pad.
Right.
And Allison has a patent on this, I think. And you can raise it up where you can, if you're a tall guy, you can still see
it. Yeah, yeah.
That's sort of unique. And then, of course, we've got the Allisons and the bullets on this side.
Right. Oh, man. We've got the twin yellows here, don't we?
Got the twin yellows. One's yellow and white, one's yellow and black. This one will be in Mercury's brochure. I went down and made some pictures at Joe Whittle Lake, and it should be coming up pretty soon in the brochure.
Right.
And of course, it has the E-pad, it has a spot lock. I call it Ultrex.
Right.
Now this is called a 21 RDC. It's a raised deck, real console. And it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and
it's one of my favorites.
It's a beautiful boat.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And now it's got